Ainsley Earhardt is a famous TV host and journalist who is best known for her time as a co-host on Fox News Morning Show and Friends. One of the nicest things about the TV host is her warm, bright smile and charming personality. However, Ainsley had a hard life behind her smile and charm on air. Darkness, her personal problems have been just as dramatic as the news stories she covers. She has had to deal with scams, losses, and other problems that have shook her world. Did you know that Donald Trump got her in trouble? In this video, we'll talk about this co-host's life and the sad things that happened to her. Ainsley Earhardt was born on September 20th, 1976, in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Her early life reads like a charming Southern novel, full of warmth, resilience, and a touch of adventure. She was the middle child in a lovely and lively family, with an older sister and a younger brother. The Earhart family soon moved to the Foxcroft area of Charlotte, North Carolina, with its rolling hills and lively community, is where Ainsley's love for stories began to bloom at Sharon Elementary School. Her teachers quickly noticed her bright, curious personality and natural talent for communication. The family continued their journey to Columbia, South Carolina, where Ainsley attended Spring Valley High School. Her high school years were a mix of academic success and extracurricular activities. Her early interest in journalism grew through school activities. She wasn't just a good student, she was also a leader. Through these activities, she improved her communication skills, became very charismatic, and could light up a room with her presence. And all of these early traits would later become the foundation of her career. After graduating from high school in 1995, Ainsley first wanted to go to Florida State University, but she changed her mind and ended up at the University of South Carolina, where she had a life-changing experience. It was there, in the rich history and lively culture of the South, that she gained the basic knowledge and skills that would propel her into the world of broadcasting. She earned a bachelor's degree in. Ainsley studied journalism in college and was ready for the next step in her career. Little did she know that this would lead to trouble. After graduation, she got her first job as a reporter at WLTX, a local CBS station in Columbia. In this role, she covered everything from local news to community events. It wasn't just a job for her, it was a battleground where she had to prove herself, improve her reporting skills, build relationships with viewers, and show that she has what it takes to be a top journalist. She quickly reached her goal, as her friendly personality and hard work made her a favorite with the local audience. Ainsley didn't let her growing fame get to her head, and her hard work and natural talent were noticed too. Columbia Metropolitan Magazine named her the Best Personality of the Year, which was a big deal for her. Winning this award was a big deal for her, and it showed how well she could connect with her audience and how much success she could have. It gave her confidence and set the stage for her future endeavors. To further her career, she moved to San Antonio, Texas, to work at Ken's TV, where she was the host of the weekday morning and noon newscasts. Each new job was a stepping stone that brought her closer to her ultimate goal. Ainsley also had other goals, like falling in love and getting married. She met Kevin McKenna while they were both in college at the University of South Carolina. They met in North Carolina, shared experiences, and teenage dreams that brought them together. Their relationship grew, and in 2005 they got married. Then Ainsley and Kevin McKinney decided to move to New York City when Ainsley got the biggest job of her career. It was not only a step forward for the couple, but also a leap into the unknown for Ainsley, who was becoming a rising star in the world of journalism. Kevin had put in years of hard work and dedication, and it was the start of a big new chapter in their lives together. Ainsley had already made a name for herself at WLTX in Columbia, South Carolina, and Ken TV in San Antonio, Texas. But the chance to join Fox News in New York was a game changer. Even though New York City, with its tall buildings and constant activity, was very different from the familiar comforts of the South, Ainsley saw her future there. When they got there, the city seemed to be alive with endless possibilities, and Kevin found his place in medical sales amidst the fast-paced life of New York's. Ainsley was new to her new job and didn't know much about politics, but Roger Ailes, who was chairman of Fox News at the time, saw her potential and hired her. She had to deal with the challenges of moving to a national network, the competition in her new field, and being new to her job, but she kept going. She started as a news correspondent and anchor and worked her way up the network. But as she and Kevin Rose's careers went on, the demands and pressures of work started to hurt their relationship. By 2009, the cracks in their relationship were too big to ignore. After 5 years of marriage, Ainsley and Kevin made the painful decision to split up. The exact reasons for their split were not made public, but the divorce was a turning point for both of them. Kevin chose to live a quieter life away from the spotlight, while Ainsley continued to rise in the journalism world. Her big break came when she was chosen to co-host Fox and Friends. Friends, the network's flagship morning show, Ainsley quickly became a beloved figure thanks to her interesting personality and ability to connect with viewers. Sadly, this wasn't the end of the tragedy she went through, which we'll talk about more in this video. Over the years, she cemented her place at Fox News and became known for her insightful interviews and relatable on-screen presence. Finding stability at work, she fell in love again with Will Proctor in 2012, a former Clemson University quarterback turned finance executive. Professionally, they met through mutual friends in the entertainment and sports industries and struck up a friendship. Both had dealt with high-pressure careers in the public eye, so they thought they could handle a relationship as well as their jobs. Despite their busy lives, they found time for each other and cared for each other. On October 13, 2012, Ainsley and Will say their vows in front of family and friends. The wedding was a celebration of their love and commitment, set against the backdrop of a hopeful future together. They settled into married life, balancing their careers with their personal lives and supporting each other's goals. Their daughter Hayden DeBose was born in December 2012. Proctor in 2015 added another layer of happiness to their lives. Becoming parents brought new responsibilities and special moments, and Ainsley and her parents will welcome this new chapter with open hearts and determination. They began the challenges of balancing work and family life, and they were determined to give their daughter a loving and stable home. After their first child, Ainsley and her parents will dream of growing their family. They were excited to give their daughter Hayden a sibling, but the new path they were taking brought problems they weren't ready for. After trying for a long time to get pregnant, Ainsley finally got married. She was happy and looking forward to having a baby. Then Lee had a miscarriage, which threw her into deep emotional distress. To find strength, she started talking about it. By doing this, Ainsley opened a window into her private life and showed a side of herself that many hadn't seen. Her decision to talk about her miscarriage wasn't just an act of bravery. By telling her story, she hoped to connect with others who had been through similar problems and give them a sense of support and standing. The revelation added a new dimension to Ainsley's public image. She was already known for her polished on-screen presence and professional accomplishments, but now she was also seen as a symbol of strength and honesty. Many people could relate to her willingness to share her personal pain. Ainsley put her focus on work, but she never got better in time for the grieving family problems started to show up, and it didn't look like Ainsley and her husband were able to deal with them because of the stress of Ainsley's demanding career, which required her to work long hours and travel a lot. Then there was a scandal report said that her husband had an affair with another woman. For Ainsley, the betrayal hurt even more because it involved a close friend and someone she trusted deeply. The revelation was a devastating blow that broke the trust that had been the foundation of their marriage. In 2018, Ainsley and Will made the painful decision to split up, realizing that their relationship had reached an unfixable point. They got divorced in 2019, and that was the end of their relationship. They were committed to their marriage, but not to their daughter. During it all, they stayed focused on co-parenting Hayden and making sure she had a loving and stable home life. Unfortunately, other parts of Ainsley's life weren't as stable. As a well-known conservative voice, Ainsley has received both strong support and harsh criticism. People have mixed feelings about Ainsley's honest talks about her faith and opinions. Some viewers like how open and real she is, while others don't like her points of view, which have caused controversies. Ainsley is known to be a big fan of Donald Trump's administration and has been a vocal supporter of him since the beginning of his presidency. Ainsley's support for Trump and Fox and Friends' coverage of his policies and accomplishments painted a positive picture of his administration. This resonated deeply with conservative viewers who saw her as a loyal ally and a voice that echoed their own feelings. However, her criticism of the media, which she called biased and sensational, led to heated debates and public backlash. For many, Ainsley's stance was a breath of fresh air, a bold departure from what they saw as a one-sided media landscape. For others, it was a source of frustration and disagreement. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, a time of global uncertainty and fear as the world grappled with the rapidly spreading virus, Ainsley found herself at the center of a storm, albeit a metaphorical one. During the pandemic, Ainsley made headlines with her bold claims about the safety of air travel. She told viewers that it was the safest time to fly, which was very different from what health officials were telling people who didn't need to travel. Her statement was a storm of public opinion. Ainsley is known for her engaging personality and trusted presence on Fox and Friends. Health experts and public officials quickly disputed her claims, stressing how important it was to stay home to stop the virus from spreading. The backlash was swift and intense, with many accusing Ainsley of spreading false information at a time when clarity and caution were paramount. But the controversy didn't end there. Ainsley further stirred the beehive with her comments suggesting that Democrats and these comments made things even more divisive at a time when unity was needed more than ever. Ainsley's words seemed to widen the divide, drawing both fierce supporters and vocal detractors. This time was a test of her strength as she dealt with the criticism and stayed true to her beliefs. She continued to engage with her audience, keeping her. Ainsley's controversial comments on Fox and Friends showed the broader tensions and uncertainties of the time, capturing the strong emotions and varied points of view that the pandemic brought to light. Talking about bringing issues to light, Ainsley's personal life has often been a topic of public interest, and her relationship with fellow Fox News host Sean Hannity was no different. On Fox News, where both Ainsley and Sean were well known and had a big presence, rumors of their relationship began to spread in 2019, not long after they had each ended their divorces from Will Proctor and Jill Rodds. They became friends through shared experiences and respect for each other's work. Both Ainsley and Sean had built successful careers in the high-pressure news industry. Their paths often crossed in the busy world of news broadcasting and at Fox News. It was during these interactions that their friendship began to grow from professional friendship to something more personal. The first public sign of their relationship came when they were seen at a wedding together in 2019. Both of them tried their best to keep their personal lives private, but the sighting caused a lot of speculation, and soon Ainsley and Sean were at the center of a media frenzy. Their relationship is said to have grown after their wedding. Divorces, giving both of them a sense of companionship and understanding during a difficult time. They were said to be very private people who liked to keep their personal lives out of the public eye. This privacy only made their fans and the media more interested in learning more about the couple. Ainsley and Sean continued to focus on their careers and kept a low profile, even though they were often the subject of public scrutiny. People saw them together, but they didn't say anything about their relationship in public. Their bond was clear to those who knew them, and it seemed to get stronger over time. As of now, Ainsley and Sean are still dating, even though they haven't said they're engaged. They continue to balance their personal and professional lives, with grace supporting each other while pursuing their own careers. Ainsley's career continued to bloom, and her voice was heard in all public places. With such a big audience, Ainsley had to deal with a lot of attention and occasional mistakes that needed public apologies. These tough times showed how well she could handle the challenges of live broadcasting and the responsibility that comes with being a public figure. For example, she once said that a winning gubernatorial candidate, commenting on a transgender candidate during a live broadcast, was met with immediate backlash. Realizing how serious her mistake was, Ainsley issued a heartfelt public apology, admitting the error and promising to learn from it. Another important moment occurred when Ainsley mistakenly. She said that Japan was a communist country during World War II. Her co-host Steve Doocy quickly pointed out that this was not true and clarified the remark on air. She apologized and stressed how important historical accuracy is and how journalists have a duty to report facts. These public apologies were not just about fixing mistakes, they were also about showing accountability and a commitment to. Many viewers connected with Ainsley's ability to admit her mistakes and sincerely apologize, which boosted her credibility and honor as a journalist. Ainsley's career continued to grow despite her public mistakes. Her willingness to own up to them and learn from them only strengthened her connection with her audience. These were moments of vulnerability, and her accountability added depth to her public persona, showing that even successful public figures are not perfect after all the tragedy she has been through. Tragic events happened again when she lost her mother, Dale Elise Earhardt, in late 2022. Dale had been suffering from a number of health problems, including diabetes. Dale died at the age of 72 after having a stroke in 2018, and then having problems with her gallbladder that meant she had to go on dialysis. For Ainsley, the loss was a big one. Her mother's death was both a personal and public event because Ainsley often talked about her mother on Fox News. Ainsley drew strength from her mother's legacy of faith and determination. She went back to work just 2 days after her mother's death, with a heavy heart, but a clear goal. She thought that her mother, who had always been her biggest fan, would want her to keep following her dream of becoming a journalist. On air, Ainsley shared her grief with her viewers, creating a space for empathy and connection. Her openness touched many, reminding them that even people who seem strong and tough can be weak. During this difficult time, Ainsley relied heavily on her faith, which became an important part of her coping mechanism and helped her get through the painful process of mourning while still meeting her professional obligations. It was clear that Ainsley had a strong support system in her family and her co-workers at Fox News. Sean, who is known for being strong and loyal, likely gave Ainsley the kind of quiet support that only close friends can give, helping her carry the weight of her loss away from the public eye.